Please welcome Ms. Meranze.
Good morning. Hey, thanks. It's very nice. Behold, I have set before thee an open door. These are the words that greeted me as I walked through the gates of the Germantown Friends School in Philadelphia in 7th grade in September of 1978. For those of you still doing the math, I'm 47. I had a lot of questions. Germantown Friends School is a Quaker school, and I'd heard a lot about Quakerism because my father was a lifer there, 13 years. Yeah, he repeated something. I don't know which one. So my first question, were they going to serve me oatmeal? Because, you know, there's that Quaker oats guy all over the place. And then my friends told me that the Quakers were those people that you saw in the dark hats, and they lived alone in farm communities with no electricity, and they rode horse and buggies, and I got very nervous. Turns out those are the Amish, not the Quakers, so we were okay there. We're good. And then the big question, so what's the open door? It wouldn't take me long to find the answers, and the answers would shape the rest of my life and would guide me, in fact, here. So, just to clarify, we did have oatmeal, but it was because of its nutritional value. They had hot water in the little packets, that's it. It wasn't in the lunch line. And it didn't matter that I wasn't Quaker. In fact, I was hard-pressed to find fellow students who were Quakers. There were a few. And some of the faculty members were Quaker, but they didn't have some sign on them that said, yes, I'm a Quaker. They just looked like the rest of my teachers. When you go to a Quaker school, though, you do have that other question, well, what does it mean? Why is it such a big deal to be called Germantown Friends School, for example? Why do they keep that name in there? It's actually quite simple. The Quakers stand for simplicity, for peace, for integrity, for community, for equality, and for service. Sound familiar? The Quakers believe in nonviolence and true service to the community. They believe in consensus. This was tricky for me when I became a club leader, because consensus means that no decision is final until everyone in the group agrees. So that can make for some very long discussions. But it also requires true listening, because you have to get there, and you have to get there somehow. But most importantly, they believe in the inner light. And that inner light is within everyone. So that was curious for me, and being a smart alecky 7th grader, I was looking around for the light bulbs and saying things that I probably shouldn't have said since my father had gone to school there, but I did. But I asked the question, and the inner light means that there is that of God within all of us. Again, interesting for me, but what it really means is that we're all good. And it means that we're all equal. And it means that we can be anything that we want to be. And that is the open door. It is through that door that your journey begins, or mine did. And it remains open because the paths are endless. The journey doesn't end. Hopefully, we're always learning, we're always discovering, and we're always sharing. So if you're a student at a Quaker school, what does it look like? Well, it means that all subjects and all activities are treated equal. All students have the same value. There are honors classes, there are high honors classes, they're all challenging. And that's how it started. I wanted to find my passion. I wanted to see how brightly my inner light could shine. But I needed help along the way. And it came from dedicated teachers, again, look around you, and a supportive family. Then my family moved, much to my dismay, and we moved too far from the city of Philadelphia for me to continue at Germantown Friends School. And so I was accepted at the George School. missing the word friends, by the way, so I was confused again, but it is in fact a Quaker day boarding school of about 530 students. My first experience with boarding students, my first opportunity to study with people from around the world. I was a day student for all 4 years, but I did spend a lot of time in the dorms. I'm not sure if people were happy about that or not, but snowstorms, nobody could pick me up, stayed in the dorm. Sometimes didn't want to go home, stayed in the dorm. And I had a lot of friends from all over the world who would come and stay at my house. My father was the funny man, and my mother was the really good cook. So why wouldn't you come to my house? And we had 3 big dogs. So George School kind of looks like a college campus, much like the Academy. And at George School, just like at Germantown Friends, there were requirements in all of the disciplines, and all were of equal value. Our teachers knew how to push us. They would not let us just get by, which was frustrating sometimes. We had to give it our best every single day in every single thing that we did, whether it was math class or on the field hockey field or helping in the kitchen scraping dishes. You had to do your best. And yes, I scraped dishes my entire freshman year. Every day on, I think it was Wednesdays, but heck, that was a long time ago. Arts. I tried those out. Not the most talented there, but I had to do it. Music, sports, community service. I tried some sports that I wasn't so good at. I tried some sports where I excelled. My entire senior year, every Monday I went to an institution that no longer exists, but it was for children with disabilities, and I worked with them for 2 hours every Monday, a whole busload of us, community service. We were constantly reminded about creating a whole person. We heard about it at orientation, we heard about it from our teachers, we heard about it from our coaches, we heard about it from our families, and we even started to hear about it from each other. We were told to take risks, respond to the challenge, and explore the world. So why did I decide to come up here today? There was a challenge presented to me, so I took it. Thought, let's take a risk. And I think that a lot of students, and even a lot of colleagues, sometimes wonder how we ended up where we ended up. So I think the story is important. But the most important part is what I learned. And I learned about the inner light. I learned that we're all special, and I believe that, and that we all have something to add to this world. And it may take us a while to figure out what it is, but it's there. When I became a teacher, and I thought about that in high school, when I became a teacher, though, I knew that I wanted to help every student with whom I interacted find his or her own inner light, find their passion. Whether it's French or not, it's okay. When my teachers at Germantown Friends School and at George School encouraged me to try as many things as possible, they were showing me the importance of valuing variety, passion, true learning, and difference. They were opening the door. They were challenging me to challenge myself. It was scary. And in fact, Mr. Lovett will tell you a story at some point that he told to the freshmen yesterday about a teacher who challenged him, who made a difference. I had one of those too, my 10th grade French teacher. She gave me a paper back. I told her she was grading me too hard. She said she was grading me harder than others because I wasn't working up to my potential. I told her I was going to tell my parents. She told me she would be happy to make the phone call, but to understand that she would be telling my parents that I wasn't working up to my potential. At which point I decided that I didn't want to tell my parents about this particular encounter, and instead I would take the work back that she was giving me and I would attempt to see what she was talking about. And I redid it. No, I did not thank her then, but I have thanked her since. She was my French 3 teacher and my French 4 teacher. And she wrote my college rec. And she knows that I'm a teacher, and she's still at George School. So it was an amazing experience. To close, I'd like you to do me a favor. Think about your own journey. Have you taken any risks? Have you tried something new? Do you know what your passion is? Are you giving back to the community? Have you found your inner light? And do you respect the inner light in others? We're in an amazing place with more opportunities than you realize. Don't be satisfied by just getting by. Push yourself. Explore. Let your inner light shine. And recognize the light in others. Thanks.